Lauren, we haven't brought up yet the issue that really, I think, and I always go back to 1978 and Prop 13, Howard Jarvis, the anti-tax revolt in California that really was a precursor to the Reagan Revolution. Hard to think in American politics about an issue that has had that sort of impact until Dobbs. And I'm just curious, how much do you think abortion is going to play a part in this debate and this election?
Well, and we've been talking about the lies. I mean, one of the biggest whoppers of the last debate was Trump's repeated insistence that Democrats want abortion after birth, whatever the hell that means. I mean, it's just so insane. And that was one of those lies during the last debate that it went unchecked, that the president didn't respond to it, just was enraging to so many people. I think Harris is going to lean into this. Of course it is going to come up. You know, Trump has been flip-flopping like mad on this issue lately because he knows it's a loser for him. He can't decide how he's voting on the Florida law, whether he thinks 6 weeks is too much or too little. And, you know, now the Republicans are trying to say they support IVF. And, of course, they've always supported IVF, and they're not going to come for birth control. I mean, this is the opportunity to call out just the complete, you know, the stream of lies on this, the fact that you can't trust him because he's changed his position so many times. Who knows? And that's dangerous.
He can't take away the truth, though, that he's the reason Roe was overturned.
And he is the reason.
It was his doing. He's taken credit for it.
It.
I think, Lauren, I wonder if you agree with this. It's the extremes of this argument that get everybody in trouble. I mean, this ridiculous notion about babies being killed after birth. Right. When you start going down there, you're arguing over, again, things that are not facts. I feel like there's an opportunity, and I wonder if you agree, for Kamala Harris to appeal to Republican and Democrat men and women about the health and future of our young people of childbearing age.
Yeah, and I suspect that's exactly what she's going to do. I mean, that's how she's been talking about these issues all along, and you saw that at the DNC, right? Families talking about these horrible impossible situations with medical complications. And that's really, you know, the heart of what the impact of these bans are. You know, I just want to say one thing about the debate. You know, you can't get away from the gender dynamics in all of this. You can't get away from the racial dynamics in all of this. You know, we've been talking all morning about the obligations for Harris, because she does, you know, per the New York Times poll, have a lot of room to define herself, right? Only 9% of Americans say they don't think they know enough about Trump versus 28% of voters who say the same about Harris. That's an opportunity for her, right? She's got room. He's got a ceiling. There's nothing new to know about him. Right. There's a lot new to know about her. But on the other hand, we're continuing to focus on what she has to do at the debate. And I got to say, we couldn't lower the bar any further for Trump, because basically what we're saying is he just needs to not be crazy, and somehow that's a win for him.
I mean, Walter, try and put into words the historic nature of this race for the White House, along with the fact that, as Lauren and I were pointing out, we're in a country now where women have had 50 years of rights taken away from them, and we are actually in real time seeing what that looks like in hospital rooms or parking lots or homes across the country.
There's so many issues that are so polarized now, and as you said, abortion is one of them. And as you said, it's a type of issue that you could have reasonable people figure out that they could agree on 70% of things. But that's not where our country is right now. It's more divided and more polarized than any time since 1968, and probably maybe since the Civil War. And this election is about whether or not we can break the fever where families can't talk to each other anymore at Thanksgiving sometimes, where people are just in their own silos and echo chambers on social media and media. And it's an election about something bigger, which is, are we going to come together as a country and go into the future, or are we going to continue to be a very divided, enraged nation?
Joe.
Yeah, I'm curious, Donnie. You look at Donald Trump's challenge when it comes to his ceiling. What is it, 47, 48%, something like that? And he's never done better than that before. He could this election. You never know what's going to happen. But I'm just curious, your thought. We were talking about it down here around the table, wondering if the first thing that Kamala Harris does is something that seems like the antithesis of what you and I would suggest, and that is do no harm. Like, do no harm. You've got a guy who's got a hard ceiling at 47%. You just have to pass the threshold. You can be president of the United States. You're capable of it. You're up to it. Give people permission to leave the chaos, to keep the insults, leave the cat-eating stories, leave January the 6th, leave the madness behind. There is such a sense of exhaustion. I'm wondering if Kamala Harris's job tonight should be to do no harm and show people she's fit for the job. We can leave that in the past.
I wish that was the case. I think because she's still an unknown, and I think because there's a need for people to see strength and need to see people kind of slay the bully in effect. And so unfortunately, I think if he just doesn't blow up and she doesn't rise to the challenge, I think he wins. She has to win. Unfortunately, she's got to win by a touchdown. It's fair. It's unfair. He gets graded by a curve. It's almost the reverse. He just doesn't act like an idiot, and it seems like a win for him. I think she's got to come across strong, powerful. I think she has to go after him. I wish it was what you were saying. I don't think it's the case, though.
Lauren Leader,
Really? Okay.
Walter Isaacson, thank you both very much for being on this morning. We appreciate it.